Students will be back in school tomorrow after the Ford government blinks. It's rescinding the controversial legislation that imposes a contract on education support workers and uses the Constitution's notwithstanding clause to push it through.
As a gesture of good faith, our government is willing to rescind the legislation. We're willing to rescind Section 33, but only if CUPE agrees to show a similar gesture of good faith by stopping their strike.
It took almost 3 hours for CUPE to respond, and when it did, it was with a show of force.
Solidarity! Solidarity!
Multiple unions, from the United Steelworkers to teachers to trades and healthcare, representing millions of private and public sector workers across the country, literally stood side by side with CUPE, declaring this a victory.
We have our bargaining rights back.
A weekend poll showed the majority of voters thought his government was to blame for the standoff with early childhood educators, education assistants, librarians and custodians, the lowest paid workers in schools. The Prime Minister condemned Ford's use of the notwithstanding clause to override parts of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms so it couldn't be fought in court.
Is wrong.
Doug Ford was somber today, but still defiant.
This is nothing we did. This was on CUPE.
The government seems to have underestimated CUPE. Despite potential fines of up to $220 million a day, its workers staged a strike on Friday and again today, promising it was not going to back down, buoyed by support from other unions.
We've shown that when our rights are under attack, our movement is strong.
But now the two sides still have to reach a deal. CUPE reduced its wage demand from an 11.7% increase each year for 4 years to about 6%. The government's last offer was 2.5% each year for workers making less than $43,000 a year and 1.5% for the rest.
Let's get back to the table and let's negotiate a fair deal.
So, an uneasy truce, at least for now. The Premier didn't answer when asked if he would use the notwithstanding clause again if a deal can't be reached. The union made it clear it will strike again if it feels it has to.
We haven't spent our leverage. Our leverage is just getting started.
The government says it will introduce legislation to repeal the controversial bill next Monday. It's not sitting this week and will not be recalling the legislature early.